I've got Fadumo, I've got Anton, I've got Lianne Sanderson here to talk us through what's been a pretty interesting window. Fadumo, I'll start with you because Manchester United fans, I think, will be celebrating as though they've signed a new player by keeping hold of their star striker, Alessia Russo. That world record bid that Arsenal made for her has broken down. Manchester United have said no. Arsenal's still in the hunt. I mean, what does it mean that Alessia Russo isn't going to Arsenal? Why is she staying at Manchester United? What happened?
I mean, like you said, I think United fans will be huge relief. You know, they can take her side, they can just relax knowing full well that she's staying there. She is a crucial part of Manchester United. She's a known goal scorer, and it's not just her goal-scoring ability. If you look at her, it's her chances that she creates, her getting inside the box. She's a player that basically can pretty much be anywhere and everywhere, and it's the sort of player that Arsenal would pretty much definitely do need and would want. You know, in terms of since losing Vivianne Miedema and Beth Mead to 2 ACL injuries, they've lost a lot of goals. They, you know, both combined used to score 66% of the goals last season alone. So you need to have a huge amount of power force to come in and fill in that gap. So I can understand why they did reach out to make that deal. But is it like a last minute too late? Is it too late of an attempt? I'm not saying that, you know, Alessia Russo will stay indefinitely at United. She is running out of her contract, and as of pretty much the next couple of months, she'll be free to speak to any other England club. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with her future. And in terms of whether United have lost out on money on her, you know, 500,000 is a lot of money to give up for a player. But, you know, United fans will be very happy to know that she is staying with them, at least until the end of the season.
At least until the end of the season. It's an interesting one because from a player's perspective, Lianne, you know, she hasn't said yes to this contract that Manchester United have offered her. So reading between the lines, perhaps she was looking for a move away. What's the implications of her staying in that dressing room when she doesn't really want to be there?
I know Alessia quite well, and knowing her personality, she's not the type of person that would be a bad egg. You know, genuinely speaking, I think she's a top girl, and I think, for me, it's inevitable she's going to leave, because otherwise I think she would have signed the new contract. I think one positive spin is that there's female players being linked to this much money. Now, to put things into perspective, in the men's game, this is like, you know, players' two-week wages, you know? But in the women's game, to see these players like Beth England and Alessia Russo being linked for this much money, it makes me so happy, genuinely. Maybe I'll come out of retirement. Don't know how much I'll go for, but all jokes aside. Yeah, breaking news. But she's a fantastic player. And I think, you know, for me, a lot of people have said she might end up in America. There's been strong links there, maybe in France. But
she spent some time in there already, didn't she?
Yeah.
Where she really developed and came
at
on
college,
as a player.
But for me, I want her to stay in England, and, you know, and also Manchester United top of the league. So for me, if she was to stay there and they end up winning the league, then they've done. And if she leaves, that's fine, isn't it? Really, because they've won. But why would you sell to your main rivals? And they don't need the money. Well, let's be honest. Manchester United don't need. It's a lot of money, but they don't need $500,000. Well, she's more valuable than that.
Anton, is it okay? Because if they don't accept the money from Arsenal, then she leaves for free in the summer.
Yeah, but what price do you put on potentially winning WSL? And that's the thing, isn't it? Effectively, what Manchester United have been given is a proposition of, right, how much do you back your women's project? How much do you really want to see this through? How much do you think winning the WSL is worth, not just financially, but for the club as a whole? And effectively, Manchester United have gone more than £500,000 because it's not enough to get her out. Now, also, maybe a bit of brinksmanship here by the fact that the longer these negotiations go on, the less time there was for Arsenal to find a direct replacement for Alessia Russo. So it's interesting to see, look, like as Lianne was saying, you know, these players are now being able to sort of, you know, effectively dictate where they want to go. But also the clubs have a lot of say in this because before it was like, our player wants to go, they're probably going to go. Now the club's like, no, you're an asset. You're not going anywhere, and we're seeing that now. And I think, yeah, we saw that over the weekend, didn't we, as well, with Chelsea and Arsenal and Katie McCabe. Clubs are not afraid to take big swings for big-name players, but they're going to get knocked back more and more, and it's what makes it more interesting.
It does. It's been such an exciting window. So, OK, Alessia Russo looks like it's out the window for Arsenal. Any other forwards in mind? I think they're looking to Europe, aren't they?
They still want Signe Bruun, who is the Lyon striker, who was at Manchester United this time last season. Kind of similar strikers, I think, in terms of sort of age and what they've achieved, but will it be a loan deal? That's probably what it would be. Lyon don't want to sell, but, you know, again, we know now they know Arsenal have got a bit of money behind them. So they're going to try and eke this one out. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they get this one over the line before midnight, which is the international deadline.
Bruun, by the way, a player that knocked Arsenal out of the Champions League at the quarter-final stages back in 2020 when she was playing for PSG. What do you make of that signing if it was to happen?
Well, they need it to happen because, obviously, Beth Mead, Miedema, those players, they are top players. You can't really replace those players, but they need somebody. And obviously, it'd have been perfect if Nikita Paris was still there, because this would have been her opportunity. So obviously at Manchester United now, but they need to get someone through the door. They've got good enough quality. Obviously, they've let Iwabuchi go over to Tottenham as well on loan. So, but it'd be interesting to see, and I can understand why, you know, they have a lot of money, because they need someone through the door to score goals. They do, because losing Beth Mead and Miedemar, you can't really replace those types of players.
You've got Manchester United at the top of the WSL table, level on points with Chelsea at 28. Arsenal 3 points behind with that game in hand. Do they need to strengthen, Anton, to ensure that they're still challenging come towards the end of the season?
February's a massive month for Arsenal. It's a massive month because they've got Manchester City twice and they've got Chelsea in various cup competitions as well. And then you've got the Champions League coming back soon as well. And it's not just about the WSL. Yes, they want to win that, but they've got to have a stronger showing in Europe this season as well, which is why they are so desperate to try to get more firepower.
Any other signings that we should be looking out for? I think West Ham and Liverpool, haven't they, been in the market for a player?
Liverpool have agreed to sign Natasha Dowie, who obviously won WSL twice. Let's say back in the day.
Good signing. Yeah. She scores goals wherever she goes, though. She always scores goals wherever she goes. I think it would be a good signing if they can get that one through.
So that's a loan deal until the end of the season. Amelia Thrustrop has joined on a similar deal at West Ham from PSV, another ex-Liverpool player, until the end of the season as well. So clubs wanting strikers, we see that a lot in January. WSL's no different.
Lianne, who's going to win the WSL title this year?
So obviously my men's club is Manchester United, but my heart's with Arsenal. So I still, you know, have a tendency for Chelsea because Emma Hayes is brilliant. 3 back-to-back titles.
That's 3 clubs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Arsenal.
Arsenal, first WSL title since 2019, if it happens. But it's Manchester United and Chelsea that are top of the WSL table.